Section 13.2, First Extra Biblical Confirmation, Enoch, Week 6 through 10. Sixth week, 476 BC to 224 AD. And after that, in the 6th week, all who live in it shall be blinded, and the hearts of all of them shall godlessly forsake wisdom. And in it a man shall ascend, and at its close the house of dominion shall be burnt with fire, and the whole race of the chosen root shall be dispersed. After that, in the 6th week, all those who are in it shall be darkened, and the hearts of all of them shall be forgetful of wisdom. And in it a man shall ascend, and during its completion he shall burn the house of dominion with fire, and all of the race of the elect root shall be dispersed. Again, this week has a clear fulfillment. Greece rises to power in this week, followed by Rome. With their rule comes the worship of false gods. Near the end of the week, Jesus dies, rises, and ascends to heaven, where he sits at the right hand of the Father. In 70 AD, the temple is burned with fire, and the Jewish people, the chosen root, are dispersed. There is no Jewish nation again until the 8th week. 7th week, 225 to 924 AD. And after that, in the 7th week, shall an apostate generation arise, and many shall be its deeds, and all its deeds shall be apostate. And at its close shall be elected the elect righteous of the eternal plant of righteousness, to receive sevenfold instruction concerning all his creation. And from the Lawrence, afterwards in the 7th week a perverse generation shall arise, abundant shall be its deeds, and all its deeds perverse. During its completion, the righteous shall be selected from the everlasting plant of righteousness, and to them shall be given the sevenfold doctrine of his whole creation. The 7th week is marked by apostasy. In Acts 20:29 we read, "For I know this, that after my departure grievous wolves shall enter in among you, not sparing the flock." The Christian church suffers horrific persecution under Rome. The feasts of Yahweh are replaced with pagan festivals, and the Sabbath is changed to Sunday. The Dark Ages arrive, and the Catholic Church rises to power and corruption. People are taught to pay money to the church to have their sins forgiven. There are no prophets and no Bibles for the common folk. God's truth is twisted to serve those in power. Matthew 7:15 says, "Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves." 7 is the number of the church. In Revelation, the churches are described as 7 lampstands, and the 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches. John is also instructed to write 7 letters to the 7 churches. I think this is why Enoch says we shall receive sevenfold instruction. 8th week, 925 to 1624 AD. And after that there shall be another, the 8th week, that of righteousness, and a sword shall be given to it, that a righteous judgment may be executed on the oppressors. And sinners shall be delivered into the hands of the righteous, and at its close they shall acquire houses through their righteousness, and a house shall be built for the great King in glory forevermore. And from the Lawrence, afterwards there shall be another week, the 8th of righteousness. To it shall be given a sword to execute judgment and justice upon all oppressors. Sinners shall be delivered up to the hands of the righteous, who during its completion shall acquire habitations by their righteousness, and the house of the great King shall be established for celebrations forever. During the 8th week, the printing press is invented, and Bibles become more readily available. I believe that this is the sword that is delivered into the hands of the righteous. In Ephesians 6:17 it says, "And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God." And Hebrews 4:12, "For the word of God is living and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing apart of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart." The Protestant Reformation takes place, purifying many of the false doctrines that were being taught and enforced. The house of the great King of glory is established in the hearts of believers. In John 14:23, Jesus said, "If a man loves me, he will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our abode with him." Jesus also told his disciples that he would go and prepare a place for them. As we live and walk in Jesus, he is preparing our heavenly homes. In Enoch it said, "They shall acquire houses through their righteousness." 9th week, 1625 to 2324 AD. And after that, in the 9th week, the righteous judgment shall be revealed to the whole world, and all the works of the godless shall vanish from all the earth. And the world shall be written down for destruction, and all mankind shall look to the path of uprightness. And from the Lawrence, after this, in the 9th week, shall the judgment of the righteous be revealed to the whole world. Every work of the ungodly shall disappear from the whole earth, and the world shall be marked for destruction, and all men shall be on the lookout for the path of integrity. The 9th week takes us into the millennial reign in Jerusalem. Therefore the judgment of righteous takes place, and all who love Jesus are either raptured or raised to life in the first resurrection. They live with Jesus for 1,000 years. Satan is locked up, and all his works vanish from all the earth. As for the path of the upright, Isaiah speaks of a highway when the ransomed return to Zion. Isaiah 35:8. And a highway shall be there, and a way, and it shall be called the way of holiness. The unclean shall not pass over it, but he shall be with them. The wayfaring men, though fools, shall not err in it. 10th week, 2325 to 3024 AD. And after this, in the 10th week, in the 7th part, there shall be the great eternal judgment, in which he will execute vengeance amongst the angels. And the first heaven shall depart and pass away, and a new heaven shall appear, and all the powers of the heavens shall give sevenfold light. And after that there will be many weeks without number forever. And all shall be goodness and righteousness, and sin shall no more be mentioned forever. And from the Lawrence, after this, on the 7th day of the 10th week, there shall be an everlasting judgment, which shall be executed upon the watchers, and a spacious eternal heaven shall spring forth in the midst of the angels. The former heaven shall depart and pass away, a new heaven shall appear, and all the celestial powers shine with sevenfold splendor forever. Afterwards likewise shall there be many weeks, which shall externally exist in goodness and in righteousness, neither shall sin be named there forever and forever. The 10th week comes to a close as the millennial reign ends. At this time, Satan, the angels, and the rest of humankind are judged before the white throne. Following this, the first heaven and earth pass away, and a new heaven and earth are established. The New Jerusalem comes down out of heaven to the earth. We live eternally with our God, and he is our light. The 10 weeks that Enoch saw line up perfectly with the millennial days.